Well, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom has actually responded to this. He said that Britain was not involved in the US-Israel military attacks against Iran, stressing that his country played no role in these strikes. Starmer said Britain stands in support and solidarity with partners across the region that were targeted. He says, and this is part of his statement, as part of our commitment to the security of our allies in the Middle East, we have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently taken steps to strengthen. Our forces are active and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before in line with international law. Germany has issued a travel warning for several Arab countries. The German Foreign Ministry has issued a travel warning for the following countries: Bahrain, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Once again, this is the latest travel advisory that has been issued by Germany. The German Foreign Ministry has issued travel warnings to these countries: Bahrain, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Airstrikes and counterstrikes have pushed tensions in West Asia to a new level. The United States and Israel carried out coordinated attacks on multiple Iranian cities, and in turn, Tehran responded within hours. Missiles were launched towards Israel and in the direction of several military bases across the region where American forces are stationed. Iran had previously warned that if it was attacked, it would respond by targeting U.S. military facilities across the region, and it did so. The United States has maintained a military presence in West Asia for decades. Today, it operates a wide network of installations, both permanent and temporary, which is spread across at least 19 sites. The largest concentration of American troops is in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. These bases function as hubs for air operations, naval patrols, logistics, surveillance, and regional command. They also support rapid deployment in a situation of an all-out war. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is the largest American air base in the region. Nearly 10,000 U.S. troops are stationed there. From here, operations in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan have been coordinated over the years. In Bahrain, the naval support activity, which was struck by Iran, is home to 9,000 Department of Defense personnel, including military and civilian staff. In the United Arab Emirates, Al Dhafra Air Base plays a key role in reconnaissance and combat support missions. Ali Al Salem Air Base, located in Kuwait, serves as another critical site. Together, these installations form the backbone of America's military presence in West Asia. As more details unfold in time, it is yet to be seen how this clash plays out next. An Iranian ballistic missile has reportedly hit the area near Dubai's iconic Palm Jumeirah Fairmont Hotel. Visuals coming in from Dubai show thick black smoke coming from Dubai's Palm Island neighborhood. The UAE's defense ministry says that it intercepted a new wave of Iranian missiles and drones just recently. Dubai residents have been reported hearing loud bangs coming from near the Palm, and they say ambulances have been rushed to the area. And earlier, the Dubai airport was closed temporarily since the airspace was also closed in that area. And the latest that is also coming in from that region, the Israeli army says that its air force has begun new airstrikes targeting missile launchers in Iran. Once again, the Israeli army says and has put out a post that its air force has begun new airstrikes targeting missile launchers in Iran. Initial reports suggest that 2 areas suffered from direct impact of Iranian missiles. This is in central Israel. No casualties have been reported in that strike. emergency crews have been called there, but no casualties have been reported so far. This comes following the more Iranian missiles directed towards Israeli territory. These have been non-stop since the morning hours. The Tel Aviv and Haifa area on the coast have been most affected by sirens and warnings. And also the latest from our region, a drone has targeted Kuwait International Airport, resulting in minor injuries to a number of employees, in addition to limited material damage to the passenger building. And this is according to the General Authority of Civil Aviation in Kuwait. These are earlier visuals of Dubai, the missiles being intercepted in Dubai, and some have actually fallen on Dubai. These were on their way to Israel. Alright, so that's what you see on your screen right now is footage coming in from Dubai, and as you can see, the missiles are flying over the skies of Dubai. Some have fallen, or the debris has fallen on some places or across Dubai, and the airport was forced to close because the airspace was also closed. And we are receiving reports that the United Nations Security Council is set to meet later today over the joint Israeli and US attacks on Iran and the current military escalation across the Middle East. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has meanwhile issued a statement calling for an immediate cessation of hostilities and warning that the failure to do so risks a wider regional conflict with grave consequences for civilians and regional stability. You are watching WION Wireless One. We'll take a quick break. These updates and more updates continue on the other side.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week, creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION World is One.
In West Asia, every move shifts the world's balance. Wars, ceasefires, alliances, power never stands still. From Tehran to Tel Aviv, from Damascus to Doha, the West Asia Post cuts through the chaos to reveal the region that shapes the world. Because what happens in West Asia never stays in West Asia. This is the West Asia Post, the region's story, the world's impact.
As India shines at the 79th edition of the British Academy Film Awards, we take a look at the country's representation at BAFTAs over the years. Know all about the rising Asian prominence at the Berlin International Film Festival. And meet Indian actor Rahul Bhatt as he talks about the release of Kennedy. All this and much more with me, Diksha Bisla, on Beyond Elite Stars.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide, because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One. Where darkness hides behind every corner.
where the truth is stranger than fiction. A show that dives deep into the stories which shock and mystify. Unsolved murders. Psychopaths who defy explanation. International war crimes. And millions swindled in financial fraud. The victims, the accused, and the sinister cloak. Crime is your front row seat to darkness.
Campaigns, elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Beyond the noise and rhetoric, no election, no ballot issue, too small. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. More than just headlines. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power. Only on WION. One is one.
This week on the West Asia Post, jet killers from Russia, carrier killers from China. Iran is arming up with deadly missiles as Trump ramps up pressure. Trump plans to rebuild Gaza, Israel wants to keep control. But Hamas is quietly preparing to covertly control the Strip. Muslims around the world are fasting for Ramadan. In Gaza, the fast is by force, as food is scarce. The West Asia Post, only on WION, World is One.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world. A 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION World is One.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We're live on WION One is One. This is a continuous coverage of what is happening in West Asia following the US-Israeli attacks on Iran. I'm Eric Mboka. Let's begin with our top stories of this hour. Lebanese and Hezbollah group calls on West Asia to stand against Israel and the United States attack on Iran, warning that its dire consequences will affect everyone without exception if left unchecked. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi speaks to NBC News amid Israeli media reports citing that Iranian Supreme Leader is injured. Araghchi says that all the high-ranking Iranian officials, including the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, are alive. Iranian Foreign Minister says that Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump have started a wholly unprovoked, illegal and illegitimate war on Iran. Araghchi adds that by joining Netanyahu, Trump has turned his America First policy into Israel First, and that means it has become America Last. Fox News reports that US used Tomahawk missiles to strike Iran. The report indicates that an Iranian strike landed near the area of Dubai's iconic Palm Jumeirah Hotel. Black smoke was seen rising from the area around the hotel, and locals say ambulances were headed there. Dubai officials say 4 people were injured near the iconic hotel. Iran's IRGC senior commander Ibrahim Jabari says Iran is prepared to use advanced and most powerful missiles in war with the United States following strikes carried out by the US and Israel. Says the Islamic Republic can drag the fight for years.
By years, he actually means a couple of weeks.
Our forces are active and British planes are in the sky.
United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer says British warplanes were in the sky as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to what Starmer stated to protect the UK, its interests and allies. India expresses deep concern about the developments in Iran and West Asia and urges dialogue and diplomacy. India adds that the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states must be respected.
Lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death.
If we don't stop them now, they will become invulnerable.
The situation here is really worse and uncertain. We really don't know what's going to happen next.
Let's begin with what happened in Dubai. And an Iranian ballistic missile has reportedly hit the area near Dubai's iconic Palm Jumeirah Fairmont Hotel. Visuals coming in from Dubai show thick black smoke coming from Dubai's Palm Island neighborhood. The UAE's defense ministry says that it intercepted a new wave of Iranian missiles and drones. Just recently, Dubai residents have reported hearing loud bangs coming from the area near the Palm Beach Resort, and they say ambulances have been rushed to the area. And earlier, authorities had declared that the Dubai airport has been closed temporarily following the closure of airspaces in our region. And the update that we are receiving in our newsroom from Qatar, the Interior Ministry, they've actually urged the people in the country to remain indoors amid the Iranian attacks. This is a statement from the Ministry of Interior in Qatar, which says, stay away from windows and open areas and avoid leaving homes except in cases of absolute necessity until the situation stabilizes. So this is what is happening. This was taken earlier from Dubai. Actually, we just received a statement from Dubai Media Office. They say that 4 people have been injured. Authorities in the UAE Emirate of Dubai have confirmed that an incident occurred in a building in the Port Jumeirah area that resulted in casualties. Emergency response teams were deployed immediately, and the site has been secured. Dubai Civil Defense has confirmed that the resulting fire is now under control. According to the media office, 4 were injured and transferred to medical facilities for treatment. Authorities continue to take all necessary measures
the
to
strike on
safeguard the public.
schools
This is a statement
propaganda.
from the Dubai Media Office. It has confirmed that the incident, which occurred earlier today in a building
Also,
in the Palm
from
Jumeirah
Florida,
area,
we have no missile
resulted
attacks
in
coming in either.
casualties, and the statement reads, emergency response teams were deployed immediately and the site has been secured. Dubai Civil Defense has confirmed that the resulting fire is now under control. This is according to the Dubai Media Office. They put out a statement, and 4 people have been injured and transferred to medical facilities for treatment. Authorities continue to take all necessary measures to safeguard the public.
There's problem.
And the latest from Doha, at least 3 new explosions have been heard in Qatar's capital of Doha. Once again, at least 3 new explosions have been heard in Qatar's capital of Doha. If I go back to the update of what is happening in Dubai, there's a statement that was put out by the Dubai Media Office, and they say that emergency response teams were deployed immediately and the site has been secured. Dubai Civil Defense has confirmed that the resulting fire is now under control. According to the media office, 4 people were injured and transferred to medical facilities for treatment. Authorities continue to take all necessary measures to safeguard the public. I'll just give you an update on what is happening in our region, not just what is happening in Iran. Well, the Israeli Air Force released the first images of its strikes on Iran. Israeli fighter jets were seen taking off from its bases, flying towards their targets before launching the barrage on Iran. According to the IDF, the Israeli and American attacks this morning struck hundreds of military targets across Iran, including bases, missile launchers, and the offices of senior Iranian officials. The latest coming in our newsroom at this hour, Iran has submitted a letter to the United Nations Security Council and Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in which it called on the United Nations to bear responsibility for international peace. The letter said, and I quote, Iran urgently calls upon the members of the Security Council to convene without delay an emergency meeting of the Council to address the US and Israeli regime's acts of aggression, breach of peace, which is a real and serious threat to international peace and security, and to take the necessary and immediate measures to halt this unlawful use of force and to ensure accountability. The Islamic Republic of Iran calls on all member states of the United Nations that bear responsibility for international peace and security to unequivocally condemn this act of aggression and to undertake urgent and collective measures to confront it, as it undoubtedly poses an unprecedented threat to regional as well as global peace and security. And the United Nations Security Council has indeed called for an emergency session tomorrow France did indicate that it will be calling on the United Nations Security Council to immediately call for a resolution or an immediate meeting, and it has done that. So this was, according to France, it was important for the Security Council, for the United Nations, to have some sort of peace-building effort when it comes to the United States and Iran, and that's why France wants the United Nations Security Council to hold an emergency meeting, and that emergency meeting has been slated for tomorrow. This is quite unprecedented because the Security Council rarely meets during the weekend, but in these circumstances, it will convene an emergency meeting tomorrow at the request of France. Representative of the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, in India, Dr. Abdul Majid Hakim Ilahi, has spoken about the recent turbulence, and this is what he says.
First of all, they started to attack civilian people. They announced that they attacked some government, state, and also build governmental building, but it's not true. They attacked civilian people, and within 12 days' war, more than 1,200 innocent people were killed, and this time also is the same. And if the United States of America wants to continue like that, which is against the old humanity, against the old dignity, and it's against the old international law, so there will be no any peace on the world, because every time it doesn't like any country, he wants to attack on that country.
Just before we move on, I would like to correct myself. I did indicate that the Security Council will meet tomorrow. Actually, they will meet today at 2100 GMT, and this is following a request by France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot, who says on X that his country has requested a meeting of the United Nations Security Council at 2100 GMT today. The purpose of the meeting, according to Barrot, is to address the situation in Iran and the Middle East. Well, just days ago, speculation was building over whether the United States was preparing to strike Iran. There were constant predictions about what U.S. President Donald Trump's next move might be. As Washington steadily expanded its military presence across West Asia in recent weeks, the signs became harder to ignore. The possibility of an all-out war stopped looking theoretical. An American strike on Iran appeared increasingly likely, and now that moment had arrived. The message from Washington had been consistent. Military action was on the table, and the scale of the build-up pointed at only one direction. It is unlikely that the U.S. was unaware that Iran would retaliate in response to the strikes, so the U.S. military moved major assets closer to Iran, a deployment President Trump himself described as an armada. The Pentagon deployed forces across the region, strike aircraft, naval assets, and air defense units, which formed a layered shield and sword. The message was clear. The Trump administration positioned the world's largest warship ever built, the USS Gerald Ford, off the coast of Israel near the port city of Haifa. It is believed to be serving as a defensive shield against Iranian retaliation. And at the center of America's offensive force is the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, backed by 3 warships armed with Tomahawk cruise missiles and air defense systems. These same vessels were involved in strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities last June. The carrier strike group is currently positioned in the Arabian Sea, south of Iran. The presence of these carrier strike groups was widely interpreted by international observers as a signal that the US was prepared for a range of options, up to and including direct military action. American officials have not ruled out the use of force in diplomatic negotiations of Iran's nuclear program faltered. Recent talks mediated by Oman are seen as an attempt to prevent open conflict between Tehran and Washington, but now it's a war situation. Diplomatic channels remain active, but the region is currently facing a complex and escalating military confrontation. Airstrikes and counterstrikes have pushed tensions in West Asia to a new level. The United States and Israel carried out coordinated attacks on multiple Iranian cities, and in time Tehran responded within hours. Missiles were launched towards Israel and in the direction of several military bases across the region where American forces are stationed. Iran had previously warned that if it was attacked, it would respond by targeting U.S. military facilities across the region, and it did so. The U.S. has maintained a military presence in West Asia for decades. Today, it operates a wide network of installations, both permanent and temporary, which is spread across at least 19 sites.
If you look at the top live stream, you'll notice the bottom portion of the stream there. There's some anti-aircraft fire going up.
Logistics, surveillance, and regional command. They also support rapid deployment in a situation of an all-out war. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is the largest American air base in the region. Nearly 10,000 U.S. troops are stationed there. From here, operations in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan have been coordinated over the years. In Bahrain, the naval support activity which was struck by Iran is home to 9,000 Department of Defense personnel, including military and civilian staff. In the United Arab Emirates, Al Dhafra Air Base plays a key role in reconnaissance and combat support missions. Ali Al Salem Air Base, located in Kuwait, serves as another critical site. Together, these installations form the backbone of America's military presence in West Asia. As more details unfold with time, it is yet to be seen how this clash plays out next. It is being reported that the office of Israel's Prime Minister has published a picture showing Benjamin Netanyahu holding a phone. It describes the phone call as, or the picture as Netanyahu having a conversation with US President Donald Trump. This is hours after both countries coordinated to strike Iran. And several countries have reacted to what is happening in West Asia region. Some countries have advised their citizens to leave Israel, to leave Iran, to leave the region. These countries have put out statements which call on their citizens to actually maintain caution amidst what is happening in our region. Some countries have asked their students, their citizens, mostly students, to pack up and leave, and to coordinate with their respective embassies, and to coordinate with their respective consulars, and to seek assistance wherever they are and whenever they need them. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has commented on the regional instability following the US and Israel's attack on Iran. Sharif put up a post on social media saying that he had spoken to Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and he said that Pakistan stands in full solidarity with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf nations. Sharif condemned what he called the Israeli attack on Iran without mentioning the US role in the strikes. Shehbaz Sharif also condemned the subsequent attacks on the Gulf region, which were conducted as Iran targeted US bases in West Asia. So this is the first reaction by the Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. He has commented on the strikes. He spoke to Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He said that Pakistan stands in full solidarity with Saudi Arabia and other Gulf nations. Sharif condemned what he called the Israeli attack on Iran without mentioning the US role in the strikes. Sharif also condemned the subsequent attacks on the Gulf region, which were conducted as Iran targeted US bases in West Asia. The Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, and Jordan's King Abdullah II have also spoken today to discuss regional developments and their implications for peace and stability. And this, according to a statement from Qatar, both sides stressed the need for an immediate halt to the escalation and for opening channels of dialogue to preserve the region's security and prevent further tensions. The two leaders also condemned the targeting of Qatar, Jordan, and other Arab countries with Iranian ballistic missiles, affirming continued coordination between the two countries to take all necessary measures to safeguard sovereignty and enhance security and stability. Hezbollah has also reacted and condemned the Israel-US attack on Iran, calling it a continuation of the arrogant and domineering approach by Israel and the United States in the region. The Lebanese group expressed solidarity with Iran, but failed to say whether it would take any action in support of its longtime ally. Let's now listen to what President Donald Trump had to say before he carried out the strikes across Iran.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms, you will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the region or the world and attack our forces, and no longer use their IEDs or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans.
Well, the latest is we have confirmation that the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres will make remarks at the beginning of the Security Council's emergency meeting on the situation in the Middle East at 2100 GMT. That's about a few hours from now. This is the latest image that we are getting. This is the compound of the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. It was the first one to be struck in Tehran, but according to reports, the Supreme Leader was not in the building. Then reports emerged in Israeli media that the Supreme Leader had been injured, but according to the Foreign Ministry of Iran, they say that their Supreme Leader is healthy and alive. These are the images, the satellite images of the compound which houses Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. It was the first one to be struck, among the first ones to be struck by the US-Israeli missile attacks. So this is the latest image that we are receiving in our newsroom. It depicts a satellite imagery of the residence of Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His residence was struck. It was among the 20 targets that the United States and Israel had formed, and their objective was to eliminate the Supreme Leader and the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. But hours later, Iran did put out a statement saying that their leader and most of the targeted individuals who are in the armed forces or in the armed forces are healthy and alive. This includes their supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, because Israeli media had indicated and had said that the supreme leader was injured in these strikes. Once again, what you see on your screen and what you read on the side of your screen is satellite images which show the compound of Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He was reportedly not there when the strike happened. He was moved to a safer location. His whereabouts are still unknown. He is said to be in a bunker at this moment. But this is the first images of the strike that hit the compound that houses the residence or is the residence of Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. This is a continuous coverage on WION World is One. We'll take a short break from now. Don't go away, stay with us.
Elections, alliances, controversies, and power play. Beyond the noise and rhetoric, no election, no ballot issue, too small. Stories that analyze global and domestic politics. More than just headlines. A dedicated show with varied perspectives, expert take, citizens' voices, detailed ground reports, and in-depth coverage from political corridors of the world. This is Race to Power. Only on WION. World is One.
As India shines at the 79th edition of the British Academy Film Awards, we take a look at the country's representation at BAFTAs over the years. Know all about the rising Asian prominence at the Berlin International Film Festival. And meet Indian actor Rahul Bhatt as he talks about the release of Kennedy. All this and much more with Nilesh Bisla on the Honorary Stars.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter. Because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world. A 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series. Week after week, creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION. World is One.
Hello and you're watching Beyond World is One. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start this broadcast with a quick look at what is making headlines in this hour. The Lebanese Hezbollah group has called on West Asia to stand against the state of Israel and the American aggression on Iran, warning that its dire consequences will affect everyone without exception if this aggression is left unchecked.